So welcome to the Collection Connection, but before we get started, I have to say, I am not your CPA, I am not your legal representative or your attorney in any way. I am not your representative or employee of your company. I'm not even your business-to-business collecting consultant yet. So hello everyone, and welcome back to the Collection Connection. Of course, I tried this a few times and, I realized I wasn't recording, and so here I am again. Let's go for it. Okay, so a few weeks ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I had done an episode about what is your temperament when it comes to actually trying to collect your money. If you're a business owner, or if you have a team, who's doing your accounts receivable, who's actually calling on these customers that might owe you money because you gave them extended payment terms, right? Right, okay. So I decided to actually kind of expound on that a little bit because I felt like maybe I hadn't given enough information. And so I want to kind of go deeper in as far as maybe what the expectations should be and how you can actually build a good communication skill when you're talking to your customers about the money that they owe you, okay, right? It's good to have a script, okay? A script, whether you're actually calling your customers or you're emailing your customers, is very important that you have like some kind of basic script that you're going to be communicating to your customers saying like, you owe me money, okay? In a more professional manner, of course. So you want to start out basically probably with, in most cases, you will start out with, thank you for your business. We value you, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your business. And here's a copy of your invoice or whatever that says, you owe this amount. We agree to this amount. You have now received our products or services, and these are the terms of our agreement. Let me go back a little bit. Sometimes you actually, before you actually provide the services, you actually have a scope of business or some kind of pre-sales contract that actually outlines what the customer is going to be paying. That's one step. But I'm going to kind of focus on after the deal is done, and then you actually know, like, you have provided the services or products, and now it's down to your 30-day terms or your 15-day terms, okay? So with that, you will have a basic script that starts out maybe with a courtesy contact that says, thank you for the business, and please make sure that you do pay this bill within a certain amount of days. Usually, your communication should, not everybody does this, but your communication should actually also include if there's anything else that's needed to ensure that your bill gets paid on time or this invoice gets paid in a timely manner, please do address it now, because you always want to make sure that you're trying to find out about any possible issues that might delay a payment before the payment becomes due. Very, very important. So that's your first basic, I guess, script that you're going to have, saying thank you, Mr. Customer, or excuse me, thank you, ABC Company, for your business. Attached is a copy of your invoice, and please let us know if there's anything else that's needed to ensure that this invoice or statement gets paid in a timely manner. That's number one. Then you have maybe your basic email communication, again, can be part of a script of your bill is due tomorrow. Please make sure that, we get our money, that you have released payment. The next ones might be, and I call them kind of like the past due 1, 2, and 3. That's like, hello, ABC Company, or hello, value customer. Please, confirm when payment will be released. And then it might go a little bit escalate. There could be an escalation from there. Hello, dear valued customer. We now realize that your invoice is, 15 days past due. Please confirm what needs to be done. Please provide payment status, something of that nature. Then you might go to, past due notice number 3. And please, and I'm going to go back on this in a little bit. Please don't be like, give me my money. Your balance is now, 30 days past due. payment is required to resolve this issue right away. And again, please understand that it does vary based on what types of product or services you do provide. When I'm dealing specifically with my customers that are business to business, there is an escalation process to say, hey, you have our product, you've received our services, and now it's time for you to pay us. But it's in a very professional manner, because again, the goal when you're doing business to business is that you want to always maintain that relationship with the customer, with your client. So we're not trying to ruffle any feathers. We're not trying to ruffle any feathers to start off with, okay? But you do want to get their attention. Another part when you're dealing with, especially business to business, is if you have dealt with, and I've said this before on a previous video, if you have dealt with maybe somebody who deals with the IT or is in a specific purchasing field, then that person may not be the same person that pays the bills. But you still need to maybe reach out. Like if you still aren't getting paid and you've done all the proper steps to address this business, your client, then you might have to reach back out to the original contact, the purchasing person, to say like, hey, so we've followed the process and your accounts payable still has not released the payment to us. So you might have to backtrack and reach back out to your original purchasing person, whatever that industry, whether it's the software person, the person that deals with the IT. There's various areas in a business that has purchasing power. So look out for that. So one of the things that might come up is when you actually have it where the customer might be 90 days past due, or it's just well beyond the terms. At that point, I'm not just going to send a dear valued customer letter, or dear respected customer, whatever. I'm going to actually say to them, and again, I'm dealing with business to business collections, I'm going to actually, make that effort to find maybe the owner, the CFO, the CEO of the company, and copy them in the communication that I've sent to everybody else. And I'm going to say, hey, this is now pending legal escalation. We have already put this account on hold. You have no access to our product or services, but this is still outstanding, and we do have a legally binding contract, quote, PO, whatever. So therefore, we need your attention on this matter right away before it becomes a legal issue. So hopefully that's going to get their attention. So part of having a script or having that conversation with the customer, again, in the past, one of my past vlogs, I actually talked about whether you're too aggressive or too passive. So one of the things, and my team that works for me understands and knows that this is a major frustration for me, is one, don't be too passive. When you have your open communication with the customer, whether again it's email or verbal communication over the phone, please don't start your communication with, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry to take up your time. I hope I'm not bothering you. I appreciate you taking the time to read this email. Please don't do that. That sounds so extremely passive. It sounds as if you're about to beg them for money. One of the worst things, or some of the worst things that I've heard, is any kind of opening statements, whether it's in an email or in a verbal communication, is where it comes off as if you're begging for money. So anything like, again, I hope you're doing well. Sorry to bother you. And you see my shoulders kind of like going up when I'm saying these statements. I believe, and I actually know, that that's how it comes across when you're communicating with your customer in that manner. Keep it simple. And the other thing, of course, is to not come across as too aggressive. You don't want to start an email or close an email with, you owe us. We want our money. You don't want to come across in that overly aggressive manner either. You don't want to come across, especially like maybe if they're a day late, and say, you need to pay us right now. No. Again, you're trying to maintain that relationship with the customer. So even though they might be a an annual customer, a customer that bills out annually or quarterly or something like that, and you don't want to come across, because maybe they're 5 days late with an invoice, that you're going to cut them off or you're never going to do business with them again. That's not going to help you build your business. You want to remain assertive, but don't be a jerk. That's the bottom line. Don't be a jerk about it. So again, you don't want to come across and saying, give me my money. You don't want to come across and saying, you owe us, or I'm going to sue you. Even when it comes down to when you're actually going to sue them, you don't want to come across and say that so directly. There's always a professional script internally, or even that if you have to write it out, there's a professionalism that you have to put forward, even in the most stressful of times when you're trying to get paid. And if you don't actually relay that professionalism, you're going to lose business, not just because you have actually upset your customer that actually owes you money, but if you're doing that with a customer that actually owes you money that's way past due and you're about to sue them, and you don't have that level of communication, trust me when I tell you, you're going to portray that with even your newest customers or new possible business, because you have to be assertive, not passive, accepting, and not a jerk when it comes to all facets of your business, even when they owe you money. So the thing is this: you have options where you can continue that business relationship even if you have a customer that hasn't paid you and you have to completely cut them off. Okay? You have options where if you need to escalate an issue where somebody owes you, you can send it to your attorney or you can send it to a collection agency. Those are the people that are there to defend you, to get you paid, that might have the ability to be, well, actually, usually do have the ability to be more aggressive than you need to be within your company. So you want to keep your company in good, you want to keep the recognition of your company in a positive light. You want to always project and showcase your professionalism. But of course, if a customer owes you money, yes, you can tell them professionally, and this is what I tell my team, you can tell the customer, hey, this is escalating. This is going to the next level. We will have to actually refer this over to our legal team or to our collection agency. Absolutely okay to do that. And then you let your collection agency or your attorney be the bad person that actually has to go after that customer if they legally owe you for whatever products or services that they have received. But it's okay for you to maintain your professionalism. It's okay for you to maintain the good guy syndrome. We'll just call it that. You can always still be the good guy, even when you're actually doing your collections, or you have somebody doing the internal collections for your team. You can still be the good guy. The person that's actually doing your collections internally before it gets referred over to a collection agency or to your legal representatives, the people that are actually representing you, they don't have to become the bad person. If the customer says to you or to your collections team, I'm not paying you, I hate you. I'm not paying you because I don't have the money. I'm not paying because I want to pay you but I have other financial issues going on, so I can't pay you. You or your team does not have to internalize, they don't have to internalize those statements. I literally, if a customer says that to me, I will just let them know, I'm sorry to hear that. I will say to them, the bottom line is, I'm sorry to hear that you're not going to pay us. I'm sorry that you feel like the product or services were not up to your standards. I'm sorry to hear that you're having cash flow issues. But the bottom line is, we do have a legally binding contract. You do actually owe us the money. So therefore, if you're saying that you're not going to pay us, or you're trying to extend the payment terms beyond the scope of the business that we agreed upon, then I'm going to actually have to send this over to our attorney or to our collection agency, whoever it may be, and then they will address the issue and decide how we're going to move forward. Simple as that. I've actually seen and experienced internal team members, and it could be sales or the collection team or whoever, where the customer says, I'm not going to pay you for A, B, or C reason, and for some reason, sometimes our internal team will take that personally. They will be like it's a personal injury or a personal slap in the face to our internal team members, and I'm like, why? It is our business to collect the money, because that's how this company is going to succeed, to make sure that we get paid. But the norm is not that most customers are not going to pay. When you're doing business to business collections and you have all your faculties as far as contracts, POs, all the documentation, and we've provided a great service, the customer is going to pay most of the time. But if you have, if you're experiencing a random situation where the customer has used A, B, or C reason as to why they haven't paid or why they're not going to pay, it's okay. If you're the business owner, if you're working as a collection manager, or you're actually managing the actual team that handles the accounts receivables, there is no reason for you to actually internalize why this customer is not paying. The next logical step will be to inform the customer that they do owe, and that we're going to have to escalate this issue to our legal counsel or to our collection agency and let them handle it. That's all you need to do. Another thing I wanted to bring up is, if the customer is actually disputing a charge, or if they have shown clarification that or proof that they have actually paid, like maybe the check has cleared the bank, or hey, here is proof that we sent something via bank transaction, EFT, ACH, bank wire, whatever. If these things happen, your team has to go off script. They have to go off script. I have seen so many times where the customer has said, look, we didn't approve this purchase, or the billing that whatever was charged to us was not what we agreed upon. Here is our documentation that shows that this is what we ordered. Or if they have sent proof of payment, stop contacting them until you actually receive information that disputes what they're saying. Stop contacting them. One of the other things that I've just seen is that sometimes a collections department does not know how to escalate an issue. So therefore, what they will do is, the customer will be like disputing or saying or sent proof of payment that they paid, and the person in charge of resolving any kind of accounts receivables or collection issues will still continue to send letters or reach out to the customer saying, we're about to legally escalate this, when the customer has sent proof that they have paid. Once you have actually maybe received an internal response from your billing team, your cash applications team, maybe from your bank, whoever it is, or sales, once you've received confirmation that maybe their dispute is invalid, maybe the bank says, no, we have not received this payment, they need to provide further proof that they sent the payment directly to this bank account or whatever, or the check has been cashed. At that point, yes, go back to the customer. But what I have seen is the customer has actually stated their version of a dispute or proof of payment, and then the internal team or the collections or accounts receivable team continues to reach out to the customer saying, you owe us, we haven't received payment, without actually going forward and actually maybe checking to see what's going on. Is that dispute valid? Did the customer actually order a quantity of 2 instead of a quantity of 4, that was each maybe, $1,000 or whatever. So if they receive a bill that is not correct, if they receive a $4,000 bill and the bill should have been $2,000 and the customer hasn't paid because they won't pay unless you send them the invoice that is correct, stop contacting them. No. Get that resolved internally and then go back to the customer to address the issue. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to the next episode, and I hope you guys are getting some valuable information. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about anything that I'm sharing with you, or if you have some insight, I do welcome you to share it with me, because again, I don't know all the industries and all the facets of collections. I just know what I've been doing for the past 20 something years. So please share, like, subscribe, put your comments down below, ask me questions, and let's learn together. Okay? Bye.